So we might as well have another extended version of our Blitz Basic using FASM assembler language, which is very interesting. So we've got a new file saved, compile, 3 passes, compile to 5,120 bytes, and then if we move it over here somewhere, we can run it and see what we've got. So here we've added a cylinder, so we've got a cone, a cube, a sphere and a cylinder all swirling around, and we've also got a camera that's slowly zooming out, so that's why the objects are fading into the background, as we've got this camera that's very slowly zooming out. And so this allows us to, before we create the 3D game world, it allows us to just experiment with various commands, see how they're working. And of course, if you press escape, it just quits the window. So it's very interesting. Or you can just close. So let's have a look at the code that we've got here somewhere. It's the usual format PE, entry start, your includes to your Windows and your Blitz3D SDK. You've got your variables and arrays, readable, writable. Here's the interesting bit, the handles. So you've got a buffer, which is a Blitz Basic canvas type object file handle. You've got your camera, which is a Blitz Basic camera file handle. Your light is a Blitz Basic object light file handle. Then you've got your cone, cube, sphere and cylinder, which are all Blitz Basic model type file handles. Textures, which we haven't got into yet. Fonts, which we haven't got into yet. You've got your title, which is a defined byte, a zero terminated string between single quotes, text again, empty string, defined byte 0, class name, defined byte 0. Now you move into your code section, readable, executable. So here we go, start, the entry point for the code, and we're Blitz Basic, begin Blitz3D. Blitz Basic set Blitz3D title of the window with the title, and the empty string is actually, if you want a dialog box when you're quitting the window, anything you want. If you want a dialog box, you'd put a string in there like saying, do you want to quit? Then you've got your Blitz Basic Graphics 3D, window is number 3, your X and Y, the size. Then for future reference, you can load a texture, you can load a font, set your font, but we haven't got round to them yet, but we just put them in there to remind us that we need to do it. Create a back buffer, save the buffer file handle, set your buffer using the pointer to the file handle, create a camera with parent 0, very important, you remember about these parents, and then you save the file handle in the camera file handle space, create your light, again direct light, 0 parent, save the file handle, create your cone, again 32 segments, solid, true, or you could use 1, again parent 0, save the file handle to your cone, object or entity, position the entity of the cone in 3D space, scale the entity of the cone, so like 0, 5 is half, 1 is normal, 2 would be double the size, 0.5 is half. Then we colour the object of the file pointing to the cone using the red, blue and green RGB format. You can also do alpha, entity alpha cone, which is the visibility, if you want it to look like a ghost, then you would do that. Then you've got the cone, create the cone, same thing, position the cone entity, scale it, colour it. You can also do alpha. Then you've got create your sphere, again level of detail 7, parent 0, save your file handle, position the entity, scale the entity, colour the entity. Now we move on to create the cylinder, again detail 8, solid, 1 solid, or you could put BB true in there, parent again 0, save the file handle, position the entity, scale the entity, colour the entity, jobs are good. Entity class, which you need to look up in the help that comes with it. So you get all the help here, you see, and you can check the parameters for the API. So here you go, BB pivot object, create pivot. So like here, create cone, BB model object, create cone. So it tells you in the, once you get used to them formats, it's very easy to code anything you want using the API. So here we go, Blitz basic turn entity cube in X, Y and Z coordinates, 3D space, turn entity cone, the sphere, the cylinder. We're moving the entity cone in 3D space. We're scaling the entity sphere by doubling the sphere object. We're scaling the entity cone by 1.5 times its normal size. This is for future reference, getting the mouse X and Y. What we do is invoke Blitz basic mouse X and you save it. It returns the position in EAX-16 and then you put it into ESI, the source index, and then you get the same for the mouse. So you invoke Blitz basic mouse Y coordinate, and which is returned in EAX, but you've got to -16 to load it, and then you load it into the destination index. So you've got your, and then you can use them to manipulate your objects. But here we've got the move entity, the camera, moving it in the Z coordinate minus, so we're very slowly moving it away from the objects, and then we render the world to the back buffer, and then you flip buffers, flip the old buffers, and then you've got your jump to the main loop, and then you've got your Blitz3D end, exit process, your usual imports, your resource file, and then you move on to your 3D game where you'll need music, sound, terrain, images, 3D models, textures, collisions. Oh, it's going to be great, going to be fantastic.